It's been a while since I read the Bhagavad Gita. I read it actually more than one time. And there is this story that stuck out to me that I'll never forget. As much as I have to take my ginkgo biloba from my memory and things like that. There's this story, and I believe that, I'm gonna explain it kind of vaguely because I don't remember the details of it. But stay with me here. I want you to get the overall message. So I want to say his name was Arjuna, and he was a warrior, and he was having a conversation with Krishna. I believe it was Krishna, and he said, "I want to see you in your true form. I want to see who you really are." And I believe the response was something like, "Are you sure? Are you sure you really want to see me in my true form?" And he insisted, "Absolutely, I want to see you in your true form." And then it was the most serene things that you can imagine. Just the most pleasant, pictures in your mind, just calm and just the beauty of like a butterfly and just like, the sweetness of a nectarine, just these extraordinarily just serene and calm visions that he got. And then suddenly it was the most horrific things imaginable. I mean, the most destructive things that you could think of, to the point where he was so horrified and terrorized. He said he couldn't bear to see the most horrible things, that you could imagine. And I thought it was interesting that in Hindu belief, God is all encompassing. And when I read the Quran, right within the first few surahs, it says to pray for protection from the evil outside of you and the evil within. Specifically, the evil that Allah created. And if we believe that God is in all things, then we understand that even the darkest stuff is still His creation. And if we take it one step further, where the Christians believe that we are made in His image, then what does that mean? That means that we also have a dark side as well. And often, the things that we are of most resistance to, we're fighting those things because those things reside within our lower nature, so to speak. And so every individual is on this path to self-mastery. And I want to re-emphasize the fact that, I've heard like this nickname that people have given me in these streets of DC, lost and found. I'm not really sure about that. I don't really claim that. But it is what it is. You can't really, control what people call you. I just want to ask people, did you know me in my formative years? Did you know me? You might have seen me at the bar, but really you don't know me. Do you know where I come from? Do you know my parents? Do you know my legacy? Do you know my life story? Do you know my highs? Do you know my lows? So when you are labeling somebody, do you really know all about that person? That's the reason why I try my best to kind of stay neutral as far as my opinion about people. So we all came to this world on this path of self-mastery, and it's an individual experience. Everyone is attempting to master themselves. Some people aren't. Some people have given up on that, that quest. And one thing I'll say as far as with self-mastery, I do resent when people try to assign a disposition to me, like if I were you, I would be, or Kansas should be, or things like that. Right now, to me, is a celebratory moment. I've said this already. It's a jubilee. It's a changing of the guards. This is the age of Aquarius. And so I'm celebrating because the only thing that I see is the ones who did not deserve the reign. This is their desperation, their last fight to keep the reign that they didn't deserve. What I'm witnessing right now is that the chosen people are inheriting the earth. And this is prophecy, this is prophetic. So what do I have to be scared about? What do I have to be afraid of? They're not going to go out without a fight. But understand that this resistance is just that, is them crying their way as they reach their demise. And when I say they, I want to be very clear. I started this conversation with that story for a reason. A lot of times we can get so caught up in righteousness that we think that we are above all of these qualities when those qualities reside within. It is the choice and the selection to work upon your higher nature rather than your lower nature. It's not that your lower nature does not exist. And the denial of it is also delusional. I've been to strip clubs before. I watched those girls. I said, I could see myself in those girls. Why? Because in this matrix, the dynamics set certain things up. This environment is conducive to a certain type of behavior. It takes a lot. It takes an extraordinary self-confidence and faith to operate otherwise and still believe that you're going to be able to get on top, to be on top. So I want to really, really preface this conversation with saying I'm no better than anybody else. The lowest of the low, I see myself in that person. I choose to live a sober lifestyle where I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't, do pop pills, take prescriptions or anything of that nature. But that doesn't mean that I don't see myself in the addict. That doesn't mean that I don't see how life can hand you a situation or a circumstance that would make you feel like you need to escape. I understand, trust and believe I understand. It's just a matter of choice. What do we choose to do? Do we choose to operate on our higher nature or do we choose to operate on our lower nature? Those choosing to operate on our higher nature, yes, we may have more resistance because this world is so conducive to you operating on your lower nature, but don't turn your nose up in the air and say that that's not you, because that's us too. Now, on this journey to self-mastery, when I say this assignment of a disposition, if I was Kinza, blah, 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 if I was Kinza, whatever, I would just say, look, maybe the hurdle for you, maybe the obstacle for you is minding your own business. And so when it comes to self-mastery, maybe your challenge is to shut the fuck up and mind your own business. Maybe your challenge, right, when it comes to self-mastery, maybe your obstacle is to be more interested in yourself than you are in other people. I'm just saying. Shout out to Nazir Ra. I spoke about him yesterday. He has an organization, a family called Hidden Power University, and I really like his perspective a lot. I listen to him often, and I really love, I love the fact that him and his wife are, it's a beautiful couple. They have this beautiful family, and the things that he says are just very practical. They make sense, right? Because we can get so righteous that we feel like we're disconnected or we're holier than thou, and that's not the case. And so to speak on our lower nature, which we all have, right? We all have it, myself included. Know yourself. Know everything about you. Know what makes you tick. Know what pisses you off. Know what turns you on. And so let's say you're a woman and you got a smart mouth like I do. And this was Nazir Ra's point. You got a smart mouth like me. Or you're a woman and you have a sexual nature. You're highly sexual. Well, your lower nature may say, you know what? I'm going to work these guys. I'm going to take them for everything that they've got. And trust me, I've heard a lot of women have that perspective. But understand also that karma is the law of cause and effect. So if your intention is to work somebody and you get worked, don't believe that that's not a direct result of your karma. I would say, like Nazir Ra was saying, use that mind, use that slick talk. Okay, you got a lot of things to say or whatever. Use that for your mate, for your soulmate, for your twin flame, for your husband. Start talking that in his ear. Turn him on. The seductive qualities that you would use to leverage yourself in this life, or to, you know, exploit somebody, use that for your husband, to add a little flame to the bedroom, to add a little spark, to add some passion to your life. So nobody's saying get rid of your lower nature entirely. What we're saying is channel that energy and use it to something constructive and productive. Until next time, everybody. Peace.